Brian Cox debunks Big Bang Theory with chilling science creation story. In a bid to crack the mystery of our universe, the popular physicist came up with his very own scientific creation story that precedes the Big Bang. Professor Brian Cox this week leads tributes to the visionary Nobel Prize winning physicist Professor Peter Higgs, who predicted the Higgs boson God particle after his death aged 94. The physicist and mathematician has cited many legacy scientists as his inspiration, including the late Higgs, writing on Twitter, "I was fortunate enough to meet him several times, and beyond being the famous physicist, I think to his embarrassment at times, he was always charming and modest." Professor Cox became a household name following his numerous successful and easily digestible lectures and programs exploring the science of space and origins of the universe. The University of Manchester professor and Royal Society University Research Fellow previously took on the question of the universe in his now famous series, Universe, Where Everything Begins and Ends, where he came up with a superb explanation behind time and space itself. The prevailing cosmological model explaining the existence of the observable universe from the earliest known periods through to today is known as the Big Bang. An unlikely figure in the form of the Belgian priest Georges Lemaitre formed the basis of the Big Bang in the 1920s, theorizing that the universe began from a single primordial atom. While scientists have since focused on the Big Bang to explain our existence, Professor Cox theorizes that there was a time before the Big Bang in which the universe existed. Before this time, he says, there was no matter at all, but simply space-time and an ocean of energy almost still, but gently rippling. This space had no structure, but soon a process known as inflation caused an unimaginably violent expansion in which things began to buzz. In what he described as the science creation story, Professor Cox explains, "In the beginning there was an ocean of energy that drove a rapid expansion of space known as inflation. There were ripples in the ocean. As inflation ended, the ocean of energy was converted into matter by the Big Bang. And the pattern of the ripples was imprinted into our universe as regions of slightly different density in the hydrogen and helium gas that formed shortly after the Big Bang. The denser regions of gas collapsing to form the first stars and the first galaxies, and 9 billion years later, a new star formed in the Milky Way, the Sun. The Sun was joined by 8 planets, including our Earth, and nearly 13.8 billion years after it all began, we emerged by blinking into the light." Worryingly, Professor Cox adds, "The last star will slowly cool and fade away. With its passing, the universe will become once more a void without light or life or meaning. Scientists believe the fading of that star will simply be the beginning of an infinitely long and dark period, which will likely at some point sprout another universe, which will itself end, and so forth." In 2020, British mathematician and physicist Sir Roger Penrose argued a similar theory for the beginnings of the universe as he received his Nobel Prize for Physics. In his work proving that black holes exist, he said he had found 6 warm points in space called Hawking points that were around 8 times the diameter of our moon. These points are believed to be the evaporated black holes or dead black holes from earlier universes of eons that are now only barely visible. Worryingly, Professor Cox added, "The last star will slowly cool and fade away. With its passing, the universe will become once more a void without light or life or meaning." Sir Roger said, "I claim that there is observation of Hawking radiation. The Big Bang was not the beginning. There was something before the Big Bang, and that something is what we will have in our future," he said. "We have a universe that expands and expands, and all mass decays away, and in this crazy theory of mine, that remote future becoming the Big Bang of another eon. So our Big Bang began with something which was the remote future of a previous eon, and there would have been similar black holes evaporating away via Hawking evaporation, and they would produce these points in the sky that I call Hawking points. We are seeing them. These points are about 8 times the diameter of our moon and have slightly warmed up regions. There's pretty good evidence for at least 6 of these points, he said. And this is on Express UK by Joel Day. Please leave your comments. Thank you for your support. Kindly support my Patreon account. The daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.